Hi, I'm Selena, and today I'm going to show you how to carve a pumpkin. So for today's project, you're going to need a pumpkin from a pumpkin patch or the grocery store, a tray of some sort to hold the pumpkin, or a tablecloth or a newspaper, something just so that it can contain the mess, a knife or a crafts knife, a spoon, a big spoon, a bowl of some sort, and a marker, preferably one that is washable. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pumpkin and you're going to wash it, just because you want to make sure that all the dirt is off of it and any pesticides, if there are any, are off of it. Then you're going to put the pumpkin on your newspaper, which you're going to lay out, or in this case I'm using a tray, so I put the pumpkin on the tray. And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw in a circle around the stem of the pumpkin at the top. So just draw around all the way around in a circle around the top of the stem. After you've done that, you're going to want to cut around it. So this part's a little bit dangerous, so you're going to want to get your parent or an adult around you to help you with this. So just, and it can be quite tough. You're just going to cut around what you've traced out. And once you've done that, it should come off like so. And you're going to want to just clean up this part over here. So just cut away at it just to make sure that it's quite neat. So you'll just cut off a little bit of the underside here just to thin it out a bit and make sure that's neat. And any of the garbage or remnants you're going to want to put in the bowl that you have on the side over here. So you'll see inside the pumpkin there is a lot of fruit and a lot of seeds. So some people roast the seeds, so you can save the insides for later. If you know how to make pumpkin pie, or your parents know how to make pumpkin pie, you can look up a recipe and you can use the food from inside, which on the inside here, to make that pumpkin pie. But a lot of the stringy stuff that you'll see here is like the stringy part that you're probably going to want to throw away. It's the pulp. And then this sort of meaty part you probably use in a pumpkin pie of some sort. I'm not 100% sure how to make pumpkin pie, but you can look up a recipe for that later. But the seeds you can definitely eat. So what you're going to want to do, because we don't want it inside of our pumpkin, we want to keep our pumpkin hollow so that we can put a candle in there afterwards, or a tea light. You're going to want to take your big spoon and you're just going to want to scoop out all the insides. So just like that, and prepare to get a little bit messy here. So take it out, put it in your large bowl at the side, and continue doing that until the pumpkin is cleared inside. So you'll want to scrape at the sides, like I'm doing here, just to make sure that you get out all of that stringy stuff that's inside of the pumpkin and the seeds and parts of the fruit wall. So you're going to want to make sure that it's completely cleared out. So once you're done that, you're going to take your pumpkin and figure out which side you want to draw on to make a face. So you can look up all sorts of face designs on the internet. I'm going to do one off by heart, one that I like to do every year, but you can definitely look that up just to see how creative you can really get with the face of the pumpkin. So since this side's a little bit, like it looks like it's not orange really, it's got a little bit of marks on it. So I'm going to do it on this orange side. So I'm going to start drawing a face. So first you'll draw the eyes. And it's okay if it's not as accurate as you want it to be. So just roughly, I drew 2 circles for eyes. Some people draw triangles. The easiest is probably to draw a triangle. And then for a nose, I'm just going to do 2 little ovals. Or you could use a triangle again. So a triangle and a triangle. And you can draw a mouth of any sort. So just drawing the mouth now. So the easiest way to do a mouth is to just, the bigger the better. Same with the eyes and the nose. So the most simplistic, like the most simple shapes you use, the better. So perhaps instead of as many teeth as I have here, you want to do like maybe 3 teeth. But here I decided to do more teeth. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so once you've drawn whatever type of mouth you want, on the pumpkin, you're going to want to start cutting. So again, if you need the help of an adult, I suggest that you do get either adult supervision or an adult to help you with this part, because it can be quite dangerous. And depending on the thickness of the pumpkin, mine's quite thick and a big pumpkin, it could take a little bit of work, right? So I'm just going to start tracing along with the knife, and that can help soften it just by poking it in slightly, just to trace with the knife around. And then you're going to want to cut in to the pumpkin. So next, just going to want to start cutting right in there. So this part's pretty dangerous, so make sure that you get an adult. So what you're going to want to do is, if it seems that it's quite difficult to get the shape, you're just going to want to get as close to the shape as you can. So I got to make an oval, but if it turns out that it's more of a rectangle, that's fine. You can always fix it afterwards. And of course, you don't have to do it all in one go. You can cut out perhaps 2/2 of an oval, just to make it easier for yourself. And then once you've kind of cut out a bit of it, you're just going to wedge underneath, like so, and it should pop right out, like so. So that's half of the oval we got. That you'll just want to throw on the side here in the tray. Just continue cutting away the other part. And that one you can kind of just peel out. And so what we have here is the inside. There's still a little bit of the flesh on the inside, or the fruit part. We can just continue cutting just to clean that out. So my pumpkin was quite thick. So there you go. We just continued clearing it out and we got that nice oval shape. Now if it's a little bit jaggedy around the edges, you can always carve around it, and it's quite easy to shape it now better now that most of the meat is outside, or most of the fruit is outside. So there we go. So now we'll start on the next eye and we'll do the same thing. After you're done the eye, the other eye, you can do the nose. So the nose is a little bit tricky. So the bigger you do the nose, the better. Smaller details are harder to do, and you might need a variety of crafts knives or kitchen knives to do it. And of course, more help from a parent or an adult. So if this nose is a little bit too tiny, why not try a triangle instead? So I'll just take my time making this small nose hole. So you saw that here it's kind of tiny. So if it's a little bit misshapen, you can always go back in afterwards and clear it out. And same with in the back, because it looks like it didn't go all the way through. You can always clear it out a little bit more with a knife. So don't be afraid to take your time with that. And the next we'll do the other hole for the nose. After you're done the nose, you move on to doing the mouth. And you can always go back and fix the shape afterwards, just to make sure that it's done quite well. We've done the other nose. And you can touch that up later. So now we're going to start on the mouth. So as we said earlier, a bigger mouth is easier to do. Bigger shapes are easier to do. You're not going to want to do the whole mouth itself, but we'll do sections just to make it easier so that it comes out. So I'll start at one corner of the mouth, which I traced, and just follow along the line. And so for the first part, I don't have any teeth detail. So I'm just going to cut out almost like a triangle for that area. So like so. So we started the mouth, we just cut out part of it. And then that's how we'll continue along with creating the mouth, is by different sections as opposed to one whole, because it's easier to make mistakes when it's like a bigger section, because it might not all come out and you might have missing teeth in the end from your pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. So next, try the other section. Going to add a tooth here. A few teeth. Let's see how we do. Oh, so we got one part off again. And then just to get it out, we sort of use our knife as a lever and then pull out the rest. So I did the next section here, and now I have one tooth over here. So remember, I did a triangle here. I continued on, cut out this section, and then cut out this section separately, just to make it easier. And now you see a tooth coming out. So now you're just going to continue cutting along and just continue in that manner. Just continue in the same way where you're cutting out each section separately. So you should have a few different pieces as you continue along coming out. Like for instance, here's a rectangle and it made teeth. So cut it out. And then if there's any pumpkin behind here, you can always go from the inside and cut that out as well. You can do that after as well to clean it up. So that's pretty much how you carve a pumpkin. So once you're done, it should look something like this. A little bit of a jack skeleton, sort of jack-o'-lantern here. So once you're done carving out the pumpkin, you're just going to want to go back to any of the sections that you feel like there might be, like for over here, there's a little bit of stuff hanging down. You can always carve that out afterwards and just make it more neat. So for the inside, remember I said we want to carve out most of it, so I've gotten pretty much most of the stringy stuff, most of the fruit stringy pulp out and the seeds out. So you want to make sure that it's out just in case you want to put a candle inside your jack-o'-lantern, because when you're going to put a candle inside, you don't want it to burn the rest of the fruit inside. So a safer route other than a candle, of course, is to use like a battery-powered string light or a battery powered tea candle sort of light that you can get in the dollar store, so you can use that as well. However, I'm a bit old fashioned, got my tea candles here. So a little candle, and you're going to want to light it. Get a parent to help you with that, of course, or an adult. Put it in the bottom there. Light it. The lid on, and you're set. So you can put this outside on your porch or balcony, or even inside your house. And it looks pretty cool. So that's how you carve a pumpkin, to make it into a jack-o'-lantern. So once you've carved your jack-o'-lantern, carved your pumpkin, please tag us at Markham Library and use the hashtag MPL from home. Thank you. Hope to see you again soon.